Thank you very much, Doug. Welcome, everybody. And as Doug said, thank you all for joining us today in your busy schedules. Today, I'm going to show you a brief overview of Planet Easy and what our platform can do. So the main focus of our platform is to consolidate the different tools that you may be using on a daily basis to run your travel company and combine them into one platform. So specifically, we're talking about CRM, profiles, getting your trips into a place, managing your trips, all your reservations into one place, creating an itinerary that you can provide to your client, and finally invoicing, getting paid, and tracking your accounting. So all those features in general and all the little functionalities that go with that to make it all work together. So as Doug mentioned, please feel free to ask as many questions as you like in here. Doug will ask them, will mention them to me. I'm happy to cover them while we do it, kind of a nice dynamic. Or we'll cover them at the end in the Q&A session. Okay, so when you enter the platform, we have a dashboard. And of course, like in a dashboard, it gives you a bird's eye view of what's going on in your company. So right now, notice that I'm logged into the company account. So first thing I want to mention is if you're logged into the company account, you can see everything that's going into the company. And then each advisor, of course, will only see the data that pertains to them. So if they're logged in as a user, they'll see their information here. First, we are showing some sales figures. We start out with total sales. These are total client invoices issued. Next, we show confirmed reservations. So in a reservations where you can track statuses on these reservations. Once you click confirmed, we start counting it as an expected profit in the future. A sales goal for the company. This can also be done on a advisor or agent level. So a sales goal and profit goal for the year. We show expected profit for the year. We break down revenues into three types that you can track. You can track commissions as well as markups on net rates. So you can track net rates here as well. And thirdly, I have not put it in, but that's fees. So on an invoice, you put in a planning fee, for example, that also gets counted as a type of profit. It's singled out as a fee for tax purposes since it needs to be treated differently for your taxes. And then finally, profit to date. How much have you made up to today's date today? Next, we just show you how many trips you have on the platform, upcoming, travel, and return. Those are automated by departure and return date. You could also click create trips with no dates. So what a lot of our users are doing now is creating a lot of sample trips, right? This is the ideal trip for Rome, for a first timer. Build that out now. A new client request comes in, you can copy that trip as well as copy any trip that you've done in the past. And you can then decide what do I want to keep from the trip, create a copy. Now you can use it for a new client. And of course, archive a trip once it's done and cancel it. Any canceled trips can be recovered as needed. Next, we have a profile section. We support tracking individual clients and also institutional clients. So if you do work with groups or corporate, you can also keep track of institutional clients, main difference being contact persons at the institution and perhaps colleagues or let's just say members or anyone who's part of the institution. And then lastly, we allow you to keep track of your suppliers as well. If you do run a host agency and you do have any ICs part of your company, you can set up suppliers as prefers and they will actually show in your IC's platform, but they won't be able to see client information of anyone else's client information or invoice information or trips, only their own, but you can set up suppliers as preferred so they can see your preferred suppliers. So that's for managing IC. Important dates, upcoming birthdays of clients, passport reminders, where you can set up automatic messages to be sent out. So a greeting, a birthday greeting, or passport expiration reminder. And they have these tabs. This is a feature. We have a big update coming here in March. One of the updates is going to be an entire messaging feature. So you can message the client or suppliers from the platform. And it's connected to your inbox. So you get a copy of everything in your inbox. You can also say reply or send from your inbox as well. And then these messages here are automated message templates that you'll be able to set up, and they can be sent out according to certain triggers. For example, a pre-travel message could be 90 days prior to departure. Here's a checklist of upcoming things to remember before departure. So those are messages, automated messages that can be set up to be sent out. Lastly, we have reservation reminders. So those are deadlines on upcoming cancellation dates, deposit due dates, and final payment due dates for reservations. That's the dashboard. Next, I am going to jump to the CRM. So again, individual clients and institutions. Those are the two main tabs when you have a new account, and then also the one over here, groups. So you can also set up a group, just give it the group a name, and then you can add all the group members into this group. One main thing that I want to explain about this group feature is anyone who becomes a member of this group will also get their own profile ID and profile itself, so that if this person travels separate from the group in the future, you are also tracking everything for this client individually. If you do have a group, you can create a new trip and you can say import group. It will show you all the members you have in the group with a checkbox next to all of them, and you can say, okay, 30 members in this group, only 20 are going right now. I'm going to unclick those 10 that are not going and click create trip. Those 20 people that are still clicked will automatically be imported and added as travelers to this new trip. For individuals, of course, our CRM is built from scratch, code by code, so everything is specifically for travel. For the individuals, you can track everything, of course, the basic first name, last name, date of birth, etc. Up here, we start also by showing balance. So this is if you have created an invoice and there's a balance on the invoice. And also one of the abilities that's unfortunately quite necessary right now are credits. So you can track both credits that you are holding on to. So if a client overpaid or they paid you and you get a refund back, client says, keep the money, I'm gonna book with you soon, hopefully, then you can see how much credit they have with you. And the same thing goes with suppliers. So $1,000 credit after a flight cancellation, $1,000, 250 ticket reissue fee. So the credit of that supplier remaining is 750. And you can go to the tab here in accounting for this client, and you can see all the credits they have, which supplier, the expiration dates, or any terms and conditions or terms of that cancellation and that credit that is left. You can also see all the invoices and payments they've made in the past. So really full accounting view of your client. And as well as this tab here that shows all the trips your client has been on in the past. Therefore, you quickly can go in and see, okay, what have they done? How many trips have they done? And then lastly, what is the total sales of this client over time? Internal notes, this is where you and your team can put any notes on the client, contact information, address. All our address fields in the platform are connected to Google Places. So you do just have to start type it in. Once it's suggested, you select it and it will auto-populate. And again, this is throughout the platform, anywhere with an address. We support multiple addresses for clients that have multiple residences. You can put in dates when they're staying at that residence. Citizenship, passport information, trusted traveler numbers. We have a database or have a list of existing trusted traveler numbers around the world. Visa information, emergency contact details, tags. So tags are useful for segmenting your clients. In this case, I put in Paris. So I can go to my CRM, I can type in Paris. So if I have a new tour or trip or partner in Paris that I want to promote, I can type in Paris. I can export all these profiles to a CSV file, which is similar to an Excel sheet that can be uploaded into any other database. So an email marketing program or any other database where you have a marketing program or you need to just add those profiles in somewhere. That's what the tags are useful for. Travel companions, for example, a family. If I'm doing a trip, this profile is for the mother. I want to put in the husband or the spouse and the children. So this profile, when I save this travel companion will exist here as a profile under this lead client. But in addition, just like under the groups, this travel companion will also have its own profile as well. So just to point that out, that's different than, for example, a Cloudbased or certain other platforms out there. Special occasions, anything like anniversaries, and you can customize the database with a lot of these options. So you can build your own special occasions. For example, reservation types, you can build build out your database of unique reservation types if you have something. So you can customize a lot of things for your company in the platform. Special conditions, medical conditions, etc. A custom section. This enables you to put any title in and any content, billing information, credit card. We store credit cards. We use a third-party solution, and so nothing is stored with us. Our own service is Amazon Web Services, so also called AWS. So in terms of security, that's Amazon, so very secure. And then our credit card, we use a third party where we use what's called tokenization. So there's no connection between the profile data and the credit card information. You can add in the card here. So if you're on the phone, you can add it in manually. We also have a whole bunch of forms that you can use and send to your client. One of them being a credit card authorization form. You can send directly from the platform. Your client has a link. They click it, enter in similar details as this. Also, the form has other fields. For example, you can include a specific amount for them to authorize, or also an e-signature, so they sign it. So you have those capabilities, or a terms and condition where they can say, I acknowledge these terms and condition, I agree, click submit. So we have those functionalities for legal forms. So we have that for passport authorization forms. We also have a custom form where you can put anything into the form, as well as a trip request form and a traveler's information form. I'll talk a little bit more about that. Next, we have the loyalty programs. We have all the existing loyalty programs out there for at least the major companies that exist around the world. Preferences. Preference is similar to tags that you can search by them. However, we put a lot of these in here, so it's quick for you just to say, okay, these are set things they're interested in. Pace of travel, they got to see everything. What is most important to them, etc. Flight, window seat, they fly first in business. So these all settings are preferences that are easy to set up. Lastly, you can put a little bit about where they've been in the past, places they want to go, and you can upload a document. Here you can safely store a copy of a passport or anything along those lines. So that's the individual profile. And in terms of getting the profile in here, of course, you can say create new, set it up yourself, or you can do what I would prefer to do is send them a traveler's information form, which you can customize. So you can customize this form, put any information you want on it. You can build as many forms. So you can do one that's a standard form. You can do one that's a long form, a cruise form, whatever type of traveler's information form. The main thing about a traveler's information form is that it is connected to the CRM. So these fields that have a checkbox, these will automatically sync and populate this profile into CRM with this information. And at the bottom of the form, you can add any additional questions or fields or checkboxes, anything you want, you can add that to the form as well, which are displayed on the form. Since I'm just showing the form, I'll just show, I did mention the credit card authorization form. Here you can just see here the way it looks. We have your logo, contact information on the top, and the trip request form. This is all these forms that are created. They create a link, and that link can be embedded anywhere that you want. So you just copy the URL. You can put that on a button on your website. You can put it in a Facebook post, anywhere you want. So for example, here I've done a form for a destination wedding request form. A destination wedding would generally have some extra questions. So here I'm just going to preview. You put in your own photo. You can upload your logo in here. And you can decide, again, which questions do you want to collect from your client for a new trip. Once the client submits it, it gets added into your trip folder as a new request, and you can then now manage this request. To finish off the profiles, so again, you can get all these client information in if they submit the form. We also support institutions, so companies or anything like that you want to track, and I showed you the groups. Lastly, we have suppliers. So we are connected again with Google, Foursquare, Sabres, a bunch of different databases. So you can find pretty much any hotel in here. You just type in the name, it will come up. You select it, Miami, go, and it will auto-populate address, contact information for the hotel, and also 10 photos. And you can delete these photos or add your own as well. The main thing to know here is you can build out this supplier profile, and this description will be automatically added to any of your client itineraries if you're pulling in your supplier from this client itinerary. So if you want an itinerary to be more customized for your company, and let's say you have a really great tour guide, you can put the description of the tour guide here and a little background. Once you add that tour guide to the itinerary, all this data goes in. So it's just another way to further enhance the quality of the itineraries and proposals you provide to your clients. Next,
Chris,
I will jump.
Chris,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There was a question that I wanted to throw out to you regarding
Sure.
your CRM functionality. There was a question about where the client information is housed. Is it housed in the cloud? Is it on the agent's computer?
Yes.
And is it proprietary? And who would have access to that data?
Great question. Everything is the cloud. So our entire platform is all cloud-based on Amazon Web Service. So everything is cloud-based. Nothing is on your computer. To the second question, all of the data is proprietary. So it's all your information. We can't do anything with that information. And also, if you leave our platform, we have 30 days. Within 30 days, we will provide you with exported files of all your trip information, your invoice information, and your client profile information. And we will provide you that within 30 days, anytime you stop using our platform. And there's no fee for that. So again, all the data is proprietary to you. We house everything in the cloud, Amazon Web Services, and we can provide you with any files. Also, in terms of exporting and importing to here, you can import from any existing platform by downloading a CSV file, an Excel sheet from that platform. We have some forms here that are already created, or spreadsheets. You can set them up to match that, then it will be an easy import. Or you can select your existing file here, and then we match up the fields, or you can manually match up the fields. Either way, we're happy to help you. Complimentary is no cost. You can always do it yourself, or we're happy to help you out. So in other words, you can import your individual clients, institutional clients, as well as suppliers. They do have to be done separately though. In addition to that, you can also export your clients as well, and you can decide what fields you want to export. So if I say this, export, here are all the fields, you decide what you want to export, and once you click export, it will automatically download a CSV file for you to put in somewhere else.
Great. Okay. Thank you for answering that. I will let you carry on.
Great. So the next step is the trips list page, or your trip database. Any trips that we created will be listed here. We have certain things just for good housekeeping. Status of the trip right now, confirmed. It starts at new request, moves to proposal, confirmed, and paid. You can customize these statuses for your company. So not per user, but for your company. And also colors, color coded, whatever you want. And you can also use these different tabs here to sort by. Search also works across this, so you can search client name, you can search all different things to search and find what you need. At the top here, we also have a master search function. This will search the entire platform. So if I put in, for example, a name of a client, it will show me, okay, here's a trip where Helen is on, or here is, in this case, a profile, or if I had an invoice for Helen, it would show the invoice, and these are quick links. Click it, it will take you right there to that content. To create a trip, we support FITs or groups, and that is the code that you'll see over here. G is for group, F is for FIT, and you just set up the trip. I won't go into too much detail here. The only thing you need to put in is a trip name to set it up. That's the only requirement. However, if you're on the phone with a client, you most likely would like to record more information of what your client is telling that they want. So you can put as much of this information in here. You can even put in the client right away. So all this information you can put in. You can even build out the framework for your itinerary if they're telling you, okay, I want to start in Rome, then I want to go here, I want to go here and here on day this, day that. You can actually build that out right while you're talking to them and start planning it out already there. Or again, also what type of services they want. So you can record these things so you don't miss anything. And once it's saved, it gets set up here and you're ready to go. Once the trip is set up here, click this button, I have a trip that's already created. I actually have it here, saves a little time. Once you click to go to the trip, we take you to this page. This is what we call the trip planner page. What we've done here is consolidate different features that are useful for managing a trip from beginning to end. So we start out with showing up top travelers. So really what we do here is you're going to start adding in who's going on this trip. So I can see Helen. All right, Helen is already on here. She's green. If the person's not in there, you just select them. If it's a brand new client, click add new. It pops up as a pop-up here. You don't have to go back or go somewhere else. You can do it right here to get added to your CRM as well as to this trip. Once you have all your trips here, we have a couple of functionalities. Depending how big the group, if it's a group or an FIT, we have some features here that could be useful. Exported PDFs or CSV files, for example, a passport list if you're doing group ticketing for air, or provided to the hotel, or also generate a room list. It will auto-generate a room list for you here. I have my hotels. Okay. It will automatically generate, here's my room list. I didn't fill out the other rooms yet. Here we go. So a lot of automation in terms of saving time in some of these administrative duties that have to be done. So after you add in the travelers, we also show some other things. Have they been invoiced? How much have they paid? How much the balance? If they have any credits with you, just things like that that are handy. And then I can go into a traveler and say, okay, I just want to take some notes for this client for this trip. Here we go. I also want to see forms. So I can send the forms directly to this client from here. And I can send not just one form, I can send them multiple forms in one email. So there's 3 links, for example. So if I have a cancellation form or a credit card or a authorization form, or any of these forms that you create, you can attach multiple links on one email and not having to send one form, and bombard your client with a whole bunch of messages. Once the form is submitted, you can see here, form submitted, you get a notification up here. You can also see up here activities, especially as a team or even for yourself. You can see anything that has been done within the account. So that's the travelers. You can collapse it just to keep it clean. Next step would be to add in some reservations, which I can go down here to the reservations section. Once I have my days, you can do day 1, day 2, or you can put also the dates. They will automatically set up here. And a cool feature, which I really like, is specify services. I can say, all right, I need to get a flight, I need to accommodation, or if it's a vacation package, we put that under tours for now. Vacation packages will get its own category starting next week, but it's under tours here. So if I add a vacation package, any of these categories I add, the system will add what we call placeholders out here. So that way, there's a bigger chance that you don't forget to leave out a service that your client expressed interest in for either day here. So, and then once you're ready to put it in or put it in for a proposal, you just go, I'm just going to do accommodation, hotel. The form pops up. First thing I generally would do is put in the hotel. So I'm just going to put in time Miami. I select it, and I can either select it from Google or from my CRM, and it will auto-populate all the information here, as well as those 10 photos. So all these things come in by themselves. You can put the internal note. You can also track the status of the reservation. This is the confirmed status that will confirm it and actually add it as a future sale. Payment status. Is it commissionable or net rate? Additional information, I won't go into details, but really we cover a lot of things. Also pricing. This is where you can do pricing per room, price per person, total price. So depending on your business model, we can accommodate those different types of pricing. Build out your rooms. It's very quick. Put in ocean view. I need 3 of those, and they're staying the whole stay. Put in your pricing here. Put in resort fees, additional fees that you might have, like those annoying city taxes in Italy. Or you can put a markup if it's a net rate, or even a markup on an existing commissionable rate. And you can also track your commission down here. So, and if you have a supplier and that's across the board, 15% commission, that supplier, we will auto-populate their commission level. So 15% with Vacation Express. Okay, there you go. It'll put in 15%. You can change it if for some reason it's different, but it'll auto-populate. Now I save the room. Here we go. Now I have 3 rooms here. I click guest name. Okay, I already have my travelers in here. Peter, he's going in this room. If I do an invoice for Peter, let's say this, I had put the price in, $1,000. When I do an invoice for Peter, it will automatically pull in his rates. So Peter Hansen, $1,000. It's auto-populated on the invoice. So that's how the system, really the benefit of a fully integrated system is that all these different sections of the platform all talk together. You can also add in your deadlines. So payment due dates, cancellation dates. These are those reminders that get added to the dashboard. Any documents. So left side, that's internal for your eyes only. On the right side, this is any confirmation documents that you want to add to the client itinerary. And down here, great feature, especially if you're building out your library for the future, is any reservations you set up, you can set them up in the library. That way, in the future, you can just import it by clicking library here and then selecting it from your library, and the details that you've saved in here, including price, will be added there. So you can either include the price or not. In other words, you can actually use this as a type of inventory tool if you have certain contracts where pricing is consistent. Generally, that would be something like ground transportation. You might have a vendor that gives you certain rates, seasonal rates. You'll put in those 4 seasonal rates. Once you have all your details for the reservation, you click save. I'm just going to close it. I already have one in here. So this is where you put in all your reservations. You can then track things like what's the status of it, availability. If you have capacity, you can only have so many people. Bunch of good features to just keep track of what's going on with your reservations. You can also view them all by reservation type. The other option to put in reservations is to go to the actual itinerary builder. The itinerary builder, I have it here. Yeah, so the itinerary builder gives you more. You can do the same thing as it just did, but it works a little differently here. Activity, okay, I need an event, drag it in to the day, and the booking form pops up. So similar way of entering in reservations. This is just a different, drag and drop function here. But in the daily itinerary, you can also put other things in. So what is the title for my day? If you want to put a day description in here or some kind of notes for your client, as well as day images, and they show up on the itinerary and look really nice. So this is where you can build things out. Whatever additional information we'll put in. You could put in things like breakfast, lunch, dinner, so meals that are included, or is it all inclusive? AI all inclusive. So this is how you can build out your itinerary. What happens next? So once you build out the itinerary, now you want to send them a proposal. So what we do is we use a proposal and a client itinerary really as the same document. So you're only sending one link to your client. What it does is it imports all information in here. This is your page where you build out the itinerary. So you see you have, I've built multiple itineraries. So you can create as many itineraries you want for the same trip. Either it can be used for multiple different people going on the same trip where you want to they have a couple of differences in their itineraries so you can adjust. Or you can of course use it as proposal 1, proposal 2, proposal 3. So it's a big time saver in the sense that when I click add new itinerary, it's taking all information from the reservations and itinerary builder and putting it onto a new itinerary. And you can then change the name of it and adjust the names for these. In addition, when you're in this itinerary, you have some abilities to make very quick adjustments. So in this case, let's say that I use this as the proposal in the beginning, and I have a hotel option 1, Grand Hotel Trimezzo, and I have a hotel option 2. And then a client says, you know what, I'm gonna go with hotel option 2. Let's get rid of the Grand Hotel Trimezzo. All I have to do is in the sidebar here is turn off Grand Hotel Trimezzo. And then now it will be removed from the document once it loads. Okay, let's get it loaded. And then it will remove the Grand Hotel Trimezzo from the entire document as well on your client's link. So this is the view of the client. This is, I opened up separately the link for the client version, which you can see is cleaner because it doesn't have the tools on the left side here. In addition, here on the client side, they have some other things. So they can download a PDF. It'll auto-generate a PDF for them. They can print. They can also share this with others. So especially for a group trip, if they want to try to recruit people, or they just want to share with their friends, etc., they can share it, via these functionalities or these sites here. A little slow here. On the client itinerary, we show your logo up here. You have the option, if you do work with a partner, or you have an IC and they have a separate brand, you can put both of those on there depending on your needs. So that can be put up there. You can put up to 2 advisors that go on to the itinerary, and then contact information. This web version is perfectly mobile optimized, so it looks good on your phone. And we also have a mobile app for both iOS and Android, which is being released. Right now, the date is April 15th, and I will show you just in a few moments. I will show you how the app is going to look as well. For the client itinerary, we show an overview, a summary section, the daily itinerary, so all chronological order. They can click on this, see more images for the reservation. This is where I've attached a booking confirmation or anything that I want to attach on there, so your client has access to that. And you can show the rooms, or you can also just click hide rooms. So you can turn rooms on and off, as well as with pricing. You can hide price, you can show price for each individual reservation. So you have the flexibility to really build out your itinerary exactly the way you want and only show your client the information you want them to see, while you can still track other things. So that's kind of the main thing about Planet Easy is you can take care of your back office things for your own organization. At the same time, while you're putting in the effort and putting those details in, you're also creating your client-facing documents like the client itinerary, like your invoice, and like your forms. So that's the time saver there. In addition to the daily itinerary section that's showing everything in chronological order, you also have the option of showing them all the reservations by reservation type. So they can see, okay, a lot of clients, the accommodation is really important. So they just want to go and see a proposal. Boom, I just want to see my hotels if that's something good. So you can go right down to all the hotel reservations. Here we show a map, got more descriptions here. You can also put in room descriptions as well as room photos. That's manual now. Long story short, we've just acquired another company, just completed a deal last week, and we're going to be integrating full booking capability on Planet Easy with some of your favorite vendors. So if you're booking through, let's say, for example, a Vacation Express or some of these brands, you'll be able to, sometime later this year, you'll be able to actually book those brands through your own account with them on Planet Easy. And what that allowing us to do is to also show you at the proposal stage their inventory, right? So you'll be able to see room categories, pricing, and throw those onto this proposal. That's a big goal for us this year. So I just mentioned that's something on the roadmap coming later this year. For now, you can add in room descriptions and room images manually on the reservation form. So we show all the reservations here. At the very end, we also show a detail section. This is, you can customize to put in your pricing, your inclusions, exclusions, etc. And also important notices. This pulls, you can put it in your account one time, so your cancellation policy or anything like that, and you can set them as default, so they add it to any itinerary, or you can create a new one for this itinerary specifically. Again, you have that flexibility. So that's the itinerary builder, or sorry, the client itinerary. I'm going to go back to the trip planner, show the final features. So that's the itinerary, putting in reservations. One last thing is, how can we help you get reservations in? I have a couple of ways. We have this feature here, which is, it's called email parsing. So if you have an email confirmation from a supplier, you can forward that to this email specific. You just click this, copy it, forward that email, and those reservation details will automatically be imported and populated into your list of reservations here. I will show you just in a second the list of suppliers that we support. 650 suppliers, so very cumbersome, and many of the biggest brands that are out there. In addition, we're doing an integration through an API where you can get cruise itineraries, you can get tour packages and tour itineraries and vacation packages. This will be launched on March 15th, and I'll also show you a list of the tour operators that are included in that integration as well. We have a package builder, so depending on how your business model works, if you don't itemize your invoices, you can create a package and you can include the services that you want to include in that price in that package you're selling. And then you can say, okay, package includes flight, hotel, transfer. So this is if you're building it yourself. You put in your pricing that you're getting from your suppliers, and then you can mark it up. I want to make 20%, mark it up one time. Or if you want to include your profit already in, you do it on the actual reservation form. You save this package, and now you can invoice or sell that package. And I'll show you how that looks as well. Lastly, accounting, create client invoices. Our invoices is very robust. You can do, it will pull in, as mentioned before, it will pull in, if I'm doing an individual, I select the traveler, and it will pull in the reservations that this individual traveler is already added to. I can also customize it if I want to build out anything, just add a prices item manually, you can do that. Or as I mentioned, if you create a package, you can then say, oh, Israel package, or whatever it is, the package you created, and you can add that and invoice the package. You can also do multiple invoices. So if you do have 10 people going on a trip, they're all being invoiced the same thing. You can say, boom, 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 select these guys or everyone here, and then now you can create 10 invoices in one go. And you can also say paying for. So if this client, Brittany, is paying for herself, but also paying for Mike, you select Mike, all the items for Mike is added on. So a lot of automation here for the invoices. You can add discounts, you can add your planning fee, you can add installments, so deposit, future installments with due dates as well. This can activate reminders, other things of that nature. Our invoice also consolidates payments that your client is making directly to suppliers, or also any amounts that they may have to pay in the future. Let's say they're actually paying for the hotel when they get there. You can put those things in the invoice so that your client has a consolidated view and an exact full cost of the trip. No matter if they're paying you, they're paying the supplier, they're paying later, you can give them a true cost of their entire trip on one document. You can also add a payment button. This pay button is for opening up the credit card authorization form. I haven't activated here. We also have a pay now button where you can actually collect payment directly through that as well. We use a company called Stripe for that. And lastly, you can add any text or attachment to the invoice as well. To show you quickly, time is running out, so I'm going to start wrapping up here. This is the online version of the invoice. So pretty clean, has your logo, etc. Your client can apply that payment as well. And you have the PDF version here. When you send the invoice, it sends the link to the invoice for the online version and also automatically attaches PDF for your client. So depending on either way they want. When you add a payment, a client submits a payment, that is also reflected at the bottom on the invoice as well. So again, keeping those things together. Let's see what was there. Okay, start closing some of these tabs. So that's the invoice, and that gets us to the end of the core features, really for managing a trip. In the sidebar, we just give a couple of additional functionalities. For example, checklists. So these are tasks for the trip, things that have to get done. You can assign it to an agent or due date. You can also add collaborators. So if you need help with it and you add someone onto a collaborator, then they get notified by email, as well as the task. They get an email notification that they've been assigned to that. You can just see all the travelers out here, as well as an overview of all the reservations, the pricing, and the profit on these over here. So just again, give you just a quick snapshot of what's going on here. So this is the trip. Last thing I didn't show was, okay, we have the total sales of the trip up here. That's the invoices, as well as the profit, the way it looks right now. So that's the way it just shows that up here. That's really the functionality of planning a trip from beginning to end here on this one trip page. And to just a couple other things, you can go to the reservations section. This shows all the reservations, and you can search by confirmation number, anything like that, and then you can quickly open it up. So if you need to record a commission has been paid, you can quickly open it up, enter in the commission that's been paid. So again, company-wide or agency-wide, depending on permissions, search all reservations. Accounting section. Here we have client invoices, recorded payments, payments from clients, as well as commissions. We show you total invoices, kind of show you a little, an overview here. You can click the different tabs to filter them. You can also create reports. So custom reports, invoices. Let's say invoices. I want to see only outstanding invoices for Mark. I can preview that here. Or I can export it, view it as a PDF. I can export it to an Excel or a CSV file, an Excel sheet. I can print it. And I can also create a custom report of this. So if I want to keep this for later, you can name it whatever you want, and it will set it up. Lastly, I mentioned quickly a library. This is where you can save a reservation and then use it later on. So you just save it here, and it can be used later on. So that's really the entire flow of Planet Easy. The last part is the My Account section. This is where you can do certain things to manage your company, and that also includes your subscriptions and your agents, so your users. This pricing here is outdated, just to let you know. Next week, these prices will change. Advanced will be lowered to $55, Basic will be lowered to $45, and Starter will be lowered to $10. The main difference between Basic and Advanced is accounting. So client invoices, tracking payments, things related to accounting, except for commission tracking. That is the difference between Basic and Advanced. In addition to that, currently right now, this month, we're offering a 20% discount for life on these rates as well. So in other words, Basic will cost you $32, like $32.60, I believe it is. And the Advanced would be $44. So sorry, $36.44. If you pay ahead for a year, you get an additional 10%, which will lower it to $39 and $32 for the Basic. And again, this gives you both back office tools as well as your client itinerary. If you're part of a CCRA or Virtuoso or certain host agencies, we provide additional discounts. And that we'll have to know who you may be a part of to get those other discounts as well. So that's yeah, Doug. That's really the overview of Planet Easy and what we offer. So I'm happy to open this up to Q&A.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Chris. Just a reminder, it actually was one of the questions. This webinar is being recorded. It will be available by Monday on jaxfax.com. That's jaxfax.com, underneath the Advisor Resources tab under Advisor Training. So you can go back and reference Chris's presentation. Chris, we do have some questions here. Let me jump right into those. CRM question, I think you may have addressed this. Can a database from a different CRM be merged into your platform?
Yes, so we do have APIs, and we're happy to open up those APIs, and then you can get a web developer and connect into APIs. So that is definitely possible. It's something that we would do on a case-by-case basis. But yeah, our entire platform is brand new. This is our third platform that just launched, in September last year. So our entire system is created on APIs, meaning that we can send information to other platforms and we can get information from other platforms if they allow it, and if there's actually the resource to put that into it. Then yes, absolutely.
Great. And is there a maximum number of records that an agency can have on your system?
No, it's infinite.
Okay, great. I think you mentioned that the CRM can be used for supplier contacts as well as clients, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, great. Regarding your accounting feature, is there an interface with QuickBooks?
Not at this stage. It is on the roadmap for later in this year, so not until I would say third or fourth quarter of this year. We will do an integration with QuickBooks. That is the #1 accounting system we'll be integrating with. For now, you can do CSV export and upload into QuickBooks, and we're happy to help you format the spreadsheets, but not now. Later. That's the QuickBooks is the #1 accounting system that we will integrate with.
Okay, another accounting question was, can the information be merged into their consortium? The accounting information generated on Planet Easy, can it be merged into their consortium accounting? I imagine
It
probably
depends
the
on,
same way.
yeah, it depends on the consortia. Right now we're working with Virtuoso and we're doing integration so that the host agency that you're with, or if you have your own TRAMS database, then the answer is yes. So we do integrate with TRAMS directly. We are a SABRE authorized developer and been that for 6 years, and we can integrate with your TRAMS database. Or if you have a host agency, we would need to integrate with theirs. That's the way the integration works, and we do that. That's correct.
Okay, great. Speaking of host agencies, how do you support, or do you support host agencies and their independent contractors?
So yeah, we've just started to add functionalities. So if you're running a host agency and you need to add ICs, you can add ICs, and for now you can put in, of course, what is this profit split. You can put they have a they'll be able to put in a logo and company name and really run as a separate business. And we're going to keep building out the features for that so that you can really manage an ICs, like a group of ICs, efficiently as well. But we do have that feature already now. That's correct.
That's great. Question regarding font size, is it fixed or can it be adjusted?
So that depends where. The font sizes in the client itinerary, certain titles and things are set for design, for design purposes.
Sure.
The text boxes that have a text editor, those are completely editable. So you can change any of those fonts, as well as import. You can also add photos and format it completely like a Word document. Anything you want to put in, you can do that. But for example, you can't change the font size of the title of the client itinerary or change it to another font type. You cannot do that.
Okay, great. And do you provide training for agencies and their advisors on your platform?
Yes, I forgot to mention that. We absolutely do. On the site, now I'm just sharing a different screen because I forgot to show a couple of things, but we have a chat which you can always use and talk to us. In addition, you're going to have an account manager that's in charge of you, which you can always email directly. And we also do weekly webinars, and in the platform, in the chat where you can ask us questions, there's also a training session button, which opens a calendar, and you can book as many training sessions with one of our team members anytime you want. You just go in and set that up. We also have video tutorials that are available, as well as some articles, and we keep adding on to those all the time.
Awesome, that's very helpful. Okay, I think that was all the questions.
I have a couple of very quick things that I forgot to mention. So I just wanted to give a quick, just to show the app. This is how the app is going to look, just to show the visuals. Profiles. So that's just the app. One thing I also wanted to show, this is the list of the tour operators that March 15th, you'll be able to pull the itineraries from all of these. This can also be found on our website. So it really covers a lot of the tour operators out there. And then in addition to that, we have the import function by email, and this covers 650 suppliers. So it's pretty much all airlines, many of the hotel players out there, car rental, cruises, even dining, and then here lots of tour operators, Apple Leisure Group, Go, a lot of those guys in here as well. Yeah, that's it.
Great, very comprehensive. Okay, actually, we did have one other quick question flash in here. What are the hours of your customer service?
So we operate on 9 to 5 Eastern Standard Time, but chat is actually 24/7. So we do have someone that covers evening shifts, people who cover at night and overnight, even middle of the night. But really 9 to 5, we're always on. But if you ask questions, we have cell phones and we can answer on cell phones. So you will generally get a response within 30 minutes, even after hours.
Fantastic, that's great service.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one main thing I forgot to mention is my contact details. So my email is chris@planiteasy.com. Please feel free to email me directly with any questions you might have. You can also go to our website, planeteasy.com, and sign up for a demo. That's really the best way. Get a demo going and dig in a little deeper, and we can have a direct conversation. And you can also sign up for a 10-day free trial there. There's no credit card required. You get 10 days free to try everything out. And then you also have access to all the chat. So really that's how you can get started, and if you're interested in learning a little more about us.
Great information.
So
okay,
yeah,
Chris.
Doug, thank you so much. Thanks everyone for attending today. And I hope I get to speak to you one-on-one.
That sounds great. Thank you, Chris, for that presentation. It was fantastic. And as Chris said, thank you all for joining us today. And please do join us for future sessions. Goodbye for now, and have a great afternoon, everyone. Thank you.